Welcome to the Bendino Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. Caitlin Clark calling out referees by name. While Stephanie White is busy, scared in the press conference, I don't want to say anything. Caitlin Clark saying, nope, I'm going to speak about it. While Stephanie White isn't even saying DeWanna Bonner or Alyssa Thomas's name in the press conference, sticking up for her players. Stephanie White, all you had to do in the press conference was say, hey, the players on the other team, they were playing dirty all game long. DeWanna Bonner or Alyssa Thomas, those two guys were playing dirty.
Caitlin Clark just did the unthinkable. She looked the cameras dead in the eye and called out a referee by name, daring the WNBA to hand down a suspension. The room went cold when she mentioned Gerda, a name that is now ringing across the entire basketball world. Most rookies stay quiet to avoid the league's wrath. But Clark just set the rule book on fire. She isn't just playing the game anymore, she's exposing the people who run it. This wasn't just a post-game vent. It was a declaration of war against an officiating system that she claims is fundamentally broken. The league is in a corner, and the fans are watching every move.
A game, and you're refereeing my games, and my fans see who's refereeing. That's the one. That Gerda, that's the one who we need to look out for. That's the one who might be placing some bets underneath the table, allegedly. Let's get right into it, shall we? Like the video, hype the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Caitlin Clark going extra viral for her comments after the game. Quote, I got a technical for clapping, so we should all just go on.
The technical foul that sparked this explosion was almost comedic, if it wasn't so insulting. Clark was hit with a tech for simply clapping her hands, not screaming, not throwing a tantrum, just clapping. It's the kind of officiating that makes you wonder if there's a personal agenda at play. Clark didn't hold back, telling the press that the league might as well just pick a date on the calendar for her suspension right now. If clapping is a punishable offense, the game as we know it is dead. She's calling out the absurdity of the situation, and she's doing it with a level of confidence that has the front office sweating extra viral for her comments after the game.
Extra viral for her comments after the game. Quote, I got a technical for clapping, so we should all just go on the calendar now and pick a game that I'm going to be suspended for if I'm going to get technicals for clapping. I said, okay then, you just don't like competitive basketball, and that's just facts. Now the thing with Caitlin Clark, when she feels she deserves technical fouls, she'll come out in the press conference and say, you know what? I deserved that one. You know what? I earned that technical foul. She's done that on multiple.
But naming names is where things got truly dangerous. By calling out Gerda specifically, Clark pulled back the curtain on the individuals who usually hide behind a whistle. There are even whispers and allegations floating around about officials potentially having interests that go beyond the court, with some questioning if there's more to these calls than meets the eye. Clark is making sure that the next time Gerda steps on the court, every single fan knows exactly who she is. It's a genius move to force accountability in a league that often protects its own. She's putting the refs on notice. If you're going to target me, the world is going to know your name.
I don't understand it at all.
So even within that, though, how aware do you have to be of the 8 technical fouls?
I mean, I'm going to play with emotion. I'm going to play with passion. And if they're going to give me a technical foul for clapping, then so be it. That's their choice. And the league can come back and review that play. And I'd love to hear what they say of the reasoning of why I got the technical foul in that situation and why other players on their team didn't get a technical foul in that situation. If anything, split it. Okay, fine. Everybody gets a technical foul. That wasn't how they were handed out. So I'd love to know. But obviously, that's what I went to Gerda and said. I said, why'd you give me a technical foul? She said, because I was clapping and instigating. I said, okay, then you just don't like competitive basketball.
Damn.
And that's just facts. That's just reality. So
While Caitlin was busy fighting for the soul of the game, her own head coach seemed to be missing in action. Stephanie White has been criticized for being far too quiet during these press conferences. Instead of standing up for her star player and calling out the blatant targeting, she's been speaking in generalities, many fans are frustrated that White won't even mention opponents like Dana Bonner or Alyssa Thomas by name when they play dirty. It's a massive disconnect. Clark is out there taking hits and technicals, but her coach is playing it safe. It's left many wondering if Clark is truly on an island when it comes to defending her own reputation.
That's what I went to Gerda and said. I said, why'd you give me a technical foul? She said, because I was clapping and instigating. I said, okay, then you just don't like competitive basketball.
Damn.
And that's just facts. That's just reality. So disappointing from them.
Damn, she made sure we all know her name. Gerda. She made sure we all know Gerda's name moving forward. Gerda. Yeah, why did I get a technical foul and everybody else on the other team didn't get a technical foul? If we're handing out technical fouls for clapping, how come I got a technical and nobody else did? Gerda. Oh, you just don't like competitive basketball then. Oh, okay.
The physicality in these games has reached a boiling point, and the refs seem to be looking the other way. Bonner and Thomas have been accused of playing a style of basketball that crosses the line from competitive to just plain dirty. We are talking about hits, shoves, and intimidation tactics that would get a whistle in any other league, but for some reason, when it happens to Clark, the refs swallow their whistles. Then, the moment Clark shows any emotion or claps in frustration, they can't wait to blow the tech. It's a double standard that is becoming impossible to ignore. And Clark is finally tired of being the league's punching bag.
Hopefully that makes sense to me. League. Gerda. And then she even followed up. Hey, how does this, the guy followed up, hey, how does this make you change moving forward? It doesn't. It doesn't. You want to team me up for clapping? Go ahead. You want to team me up for clapping and showing competitiveness? Go ahead. I'd love to see it, Gerda. Oh, yeah. And that's just facts. What a effing demon. I'm loving I don't give a F anymore, CC. She's tired of the BS.
Some are calling this thug basketball, a gritty and overly aggressive style designed to break a player's spirit. The transcript of the game shows that Clark is being targeted physically every single night. It's not just about tough defense. It's about a concerted effort to rattle the league's biggest star. When your coach refuses to stand up and call this out, it sends a message that the behavior is acceptable. Clark is effectively saying that if her coach won't protect her, and the refs won't protect her, she's going to use her platform to burn the whole system down. She is taking the hits on the court and the fines in the pocket.
I'm loving I don't give a F anymore, CC. She's tired of the BS with these refs and daring them to suspend her, which she and any of the brain knows is never going to happen. Just like the All-Star vote, fans are too easily triggered by BS. This league has business partners and obligations to deliver on. It's a good point. I dare you to suspend me. I dare you to suspend me. See how happy those media partners are if you suspend me on a national TV game. See how happy Peacock is. See how happy NBC is. See how happy Amazon Prime is when you suspend the moneymaker. Ooh, damn. Damn.
The suspension threat is real. But Clark's response was ice cold. She basically told the WNBA to go ahead and do it. She told the media to just go on the calendar and pick the game she's going to be forced to miss. It's a power move that highlights just how much leverage she actually has. Does the WNBA really want to suspend the woman responsible for their record-breaking ratings? It's a game of chicken where Clark knows she has the better hand. By daring them to suspend her for clapping, she's highlighting just how ridiculous their disciplinary actions have become. She's calling their bluff in front of a national audience.
Me on a national TV game. See how happy Peacock is. See how happy NBC is. See how happy Amazon Prime is when you suspend the moneymaker. Ooh, damn. Damn. And folks, this is the clapping. This is the clap that we're talking about. Boom. She sees him. Clap, 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 clap. That's it. That's what you got a technical foul for. Caitlin Clark speaking about Maisha Hines Allen having her back.
Directly or specific words, but I don't know. I appreciate having my back. You know, it's nice to have a teammate like that that's always going to go to battle for their team.
Her message to the officials was simple: you just don't like competitive basketball. That is a heavy accusation to throw at a professional ref. It implies that the officials are trying to sanitize the game or, worse, control the outcome by neutering the player's passion. Clark lives and breathes competition, and she's pointing out that the technicals are being used to punish emotion. When the game is on the line and the intensity is at an all-time high, the refs are stepping in to make it about themselves. Clark's "just facts" attitude is a refreshing change from the robotic PR answers we usually get from professional athletes. What makes this situation even more interesting is Clark's honesty. She isn't just a winner who complains about every call. She has admitted on multiple occasions this season when she actually deserved a technical. She's owned up to slapping the stanchion or letting her temper get the best of her in the past, but this time was different. This was about a tech for clapping, a lights-on, lights-off moment that made no sense. Because she's been honest about her mistakes before, her anger this time carries a lot more weight. She knows the difference between a fair call and a power trip by an official. The clapper incident is going down in WNBA history as one of the most absurd calls ever made. Imagine being in the heat of a professional game. Your adrenaline is pumping, and you clap your hands to fire up your team or yourself. Suddenly, a whistle blows, and you've been given a technical. It's a move that feels personal. It's as if the ref was just waiting for any tiny excuse to exert dominance over the league's most talked about player. Clark isn't letting it slide. She's making sure the footage of that clap is seen by everyone, exposing just how thin-skinned some of these referees really are. According to Clark, the explanation she got from Guerra was even worse than the call itself. The ref allegedly told her the technical was for clapping and instigating. How do you instigate with a clap? It's a vague, subjective term that gives refs too much power to punish players they simply don't like. Clark's rebuttal was legendary. She told the ref that if that's the criteria, then the league is in serious trouble. She's refusing to change her style of play or dampen her passion just to satisfy an official's ego. She's going to keep playing with emotion, and if they keep blowing the whistle, she's going to keep naming names. She didn't stop at the post-game presser either. Clark is demanding that the league office actually review the play and provide a formal explanation. She wants to hear their reasoning for why a clap deserves a technical. While other players are getting away with far more aggressive behavior, this puts the WNBA in a very tight spot. If they back the ref, they look like they're out to get Clark. If they rescind the tech, they admit their officials are failing. Clark is forcing the league to be transparent, something they aren't always comfortable with. She's demanding a level of professionalism that she feels is currently missing. The double standard is the most frustrating part of this entire saga. Clark pointed out that while she was being penalized for clapping, other players on the opposing team were engaging in much more instigating behavior without any consequences. Why was she singled out? Why didn't the ref split the technicals if things were getting heated on both sides? It's a pattern of officiating that suggests Clark is being held to a different, much stricter set of rules than everyone else. By highlighting this discrepancy, she's making it clear that she sees the bias and she knows exactly what's going on. We are seeing the birth of what fans are calling Demon Caitlin Clark. She's done being the polite rookie who just says, "Thank you for the opportunity." She's fed up with the BS, and she doesn't care about the consequences anymore. This version of Clark is a nightmare for the league's PR department, but a dream for the fans. She's raw, she's honest, and she's dangerous. When a player of her caliber stops caring about the fines and the threats, they become unstoppable. She's realized that her power comes from her talent and her fan base, not from the approval of the league office or the officials. The reality is that Clark is the ultimate money maker for the WNBA. She knows it, the fans know it, and the league definitely knows it. Every time she steps on the court, ratings skyrocket and tickets sell out. This is why the threat of a suspension feels so hollow. If the WNBA actually sits her down, they aren't just punishing Clark, they're punishing their business partners. They are hurting their own bottom line. Clark is effectively calling out the hypocrisy of a league that uses her image to make millions but refuses to protect her from biased officiating on the court. Think about the media giants involved here. Peacock, NBC, Amazon Prime, they all signed massive deals because of the Caitlin Clark effect. If the league decides to suspend her for something as trivial as clapping, those partners are going to be furious. You don't bench your star player during a national TV game because she hurt a referee's feelings. Clark understands the business of basketball better than people give her credit for. She knows she's essentially too big to fail in this context, and she's using that leverage to speak the truth that other players are too afraid to say. Luckily, Clark isn't totally alone on the court. Teammates like Myisha Hines-Allen have started to step up and show that they have her back. In recent games, we've seen Hines-Allen get into the mix and stand up to the physical play from opponents like Alyssa Thomas. It's a vital development because Clark can't fight every battle by herself. Having teammates who are willing to get swole and match the energy of the opposition is the only way the Fever can survive this gauntlet. It's nice to see that while the coach might be quiet, the players are starting to form a united front. The battle between Hines-Allen and Thomas was a highlight of its own. It was a swole versus swole showdown that showed the league the Fever won't be bullied forever. This kind of internal support is what Clark needs to keep her focus on the game. When her teammates handle the physical enforcement, she can focus on scoring and playmaking, but even with that support, the officiating remains the primary obstacle. It shouldn't require a teammate to step in and act as a bodyguard just because the referees are refusing to call a fair game. The culture of the league is being tested. The officiating in these games hasn't just been biased, it's been objectively poor. Even neutral observers are calling these matchups chippy and poorly handled. When refs lose control of a game, they often resort to handing out technicals to regain a sense of authority, but it usually has the opposite effect. It just makes the players more frustrated and the fans more vocal. Clark is the one who finally broke the silence and pointed out the elephant in the room. The officiating is not at a professional level, and it's dragging down the quality of the product that everyone is working so hard to build. Going rogue is the only option Clark has left. She tried to play by the rules. She tried to be the good rookie, and she tried to let her game do the talking, but when the system is rigged against you, you have to change the game. By speaking out after the match and refusing to back down, she's taking control of the narrative. She's not letting the league or the refs define who she is. She's defining herself as a competitor who won't be silenced by a whistle. This rogue phase is exactly what the WNBA needs to actually address its deep-seated officiating issues. There's also a growing concern about the team's strategy moving forward. With the coach seemingly hesitant to challenge the league, the burden falls on the players to manage the game themselves. Fans are hoping that the coaching staff doesn't try to rein in Clark's passion. If they try to turn her into a hub that just passes the ball and stays quiet, they'll lose what makes her special. The best version of this team is one where Clark is allowed to be the demon she's shown herself to be. She needs to dominate, and she needs to be allowed to speak her mind without fear. The social media response has been overwhelming, with Demon Caitlin trending and fans cheering on her defiance. People are tired of the sanitized, boring version of sports. They want to see the fire. They want to see the conflict. Clark is giving them exactly what they want, and in the process, she's becoming an even bigger cultural icon. Every technical she gets for something stupid only makes her more likable to the average fan who hates overregulation. The league might think they're disciplining her, but they're actually just handing her a massive PR win every single time. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark is proving that she's more than just a shooter. She's a leader who's willing to take the heat for the sake of the game. She's exposed the officiating. She's challenged the league's authority, and she's dared them to do something about it. Whether she gets suspended or not, she's already won this round. She's forced the world to look at the WNBA's flaws, and she's demanded better for herself and her teammates. The era of the silent superstar is over. Clark is here. She's loud, and she's not going anywhere. No matter how